cry in front of the boys. I cry when I cry. Sometimes I cry in my heart. It's hurting when you see the flower. You have tears in your eyes. Memories.
39-year-old Elijah Whitehurst was killed after he and another man were run down outside Darwin's Hibiscus shopping centre last June. He was thrown 7 metres and suffered a traumatic brain injury, dying in Darwin Hospital.
I need justice. I really need that because it's not fair that I'm going to bury my brother and he's out of prison.
The pedestrians were hit by a driver who was speeding, unlicensed and uninsured, and then fled the scene. The driver was 24-year-old Jake Danby. He sent texts to his friends describing the victims as dogs and the collision as a 2-for-1 combo.
They were rolling all over the road like bitches when I looked in my rearview mirrors. The world needs kids like me to take a hit to teach these kids a lifelong lesson. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll be able to claim his Centrelink for taking out another oxygen thief.
How has that left you and your family feeling?
Hurt. Calling him oxygen thief and a dog and a cunt. And he seen on the mirror he was rolling around. My brother wouldn't roll around. He's probably unconscious or dead by the time. He was a good, humble man, kind man.
Following the incident, Danby also texted a friend.
I do have to hand myself in, but I ain't getting jail time. I'm a Danby. We don't go to jail. It's amazing how much lawyers fight for you like it's life and death when you know you can pay whatever fee they pull out of their ass.
Danby walked from the NT Supreme Court last month after pleading guilty to hit and run driving causing death, with a 12-month community corrections order, 5 months which will be served in home detention.
Do you want to say anything to the family of those who were injured and the man who died?
It was an accident and I'm extremely sorry. Never meant to hurt anyone. People make mistakes, but you got to be mad enough to own the mistakes and just move forward.
The North Australian Aboriginal Justice Agency's Ben Grimes says since the sentence was handed down, they have received a flood of complaints.
Either just to express outrage and say, how could this have happened? Or to say things like, of course this has happened. If an Aboriginal man had driven and killed a white man, he would be in jail straight away.
The Territory's Director of Public Prosecutions is now appealing the sentence, which it's described as manifestly inadequate.
We're pleased to see that the DPP is appealing it, but there were so many comments that were made by Danby, which I suppose are in a sense reflective of experiences or reflective of attitudes that are of great concern. I do think that when you see that type of hate speech and you see it in the context of somebody who's just caused the death of another person and who's so completely callous about the death that they've caused and who almost seems to be celebrating the death because that person was Aboriginal, the court can and should take into account the broader community harm.
In sentencing Danby, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Brownhill condemned his text messages.
The degree of callousness and disdain expressed in those text messages for 2 other human beings who you had obviously harmed, most likely seriously, is difficult to fathom.
But she took into account his youth, stable housing, lack of criminal history and strong employment record, and despite the texts, accepted he was genuinely remorseful. Naja says many Aboriginal defendants are automatically set up to fail on those fronts.
the options are taken away from them before they even start. So home detention is a really good example. So in the Danby case, he was given a period of home detention. Now there's a few things that are required for home detention to even be considered. Do you have a stable house that you're living in?
Independent Arnhem Land politician Yingia Goyula lost a relative in a hit-and-run incident in Darwin 2 years ago. He's been calling out a lack of action by the government in reforming laws around the issue.
Our people are not happy about this. I am not happy. We say the government is not doing their job properly. When you talk about crime, when you talk about justice, there needs to be justice. The government is purposely trying to don't want to know about it, don't want to know about it and listen about it. When people are calling out, there is racism in these governments, in the systems of how things are happening.
It also emerged late last month that Danby is a relative to NT Attorney General Marie-Claire Boothby.
I think it's appropriate for the DPP to look into those matters.
She was asked about Danby's sentencing at a press conference, but failed to disclose that he was her sister's stepson.
There needs to be some kind of investigation into what the Attorney General said in this process. This is a conflict of interest.
That family connection, I think, simply adds to that sense that there's two systems going on or there's differential treatment, and it certainly does not look good at all from a public perception point of view.
The Attorney General declined 730's interview request and didn't respond to questions about her government's silence on Danby's sentence and her link to the offender. Last week, Darwin Local Court heard that Danby's appeal may be heard early next year.
I will never forgive him. I want him to be in prison, so it's not fair. I'm frightened now to go across the road. Yeah, my brother was a good young man.